Well, it's finally time for Pokémon 3, the movie! Spell of the Unown.
Entei.
Mate, that just shows you how convoluted and confusing this movie is. Even the title can't decide what's going on. As the movie begins, we see a man reading to his door. Never mind that shit, have you seen that Don fan slide? Mate, that's amazing! We didn't have anything like this when we were kids. Why can't you buy these? Not that I'd have any use for it nowadays, or even any space to put it, but it'd still be a cool thing to own, right? Anyway, we see a man talking to a girl called Molly, and he's telling her all about legendary Pokemon. And see, the one they're looking at is one he's been searching for a very long time. What is that legendary Pokemon, you ask? I mean, this is a Gen 2 movie, so there aren't really that many legendary Pokemon to choose from, so of course he's talking about Unown. Yeah, this dumbass right here is the reason we had an entire generation of kids grow up thinking Unown was a legendary Pokemon. Oh, this is going to be a long movie. Also, let's just ignore the fact that there are 28 forms of Unown, although 28 in Generation 2, and yet there are 35 Unown in this image, as if we aren't confused enough already. Now, credit where credit is due. The artist who drew these pictures is absolutely cracked at guessing what Pokemon look like. The bloke specifically says that the artist didn't know what the Pokemon looked like and just drew what he imagined them to look like. But look how they drew Entei. Like, I've gotta say, that's a pretty accurate drawing to come just from someone's imagination. To be honest, the Pokemon animators themselves could learn a lot from these guys.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find if the Pokemon animators animated this movie, then didn't they technically draw these images too?
I mean, you're right. So if the animators could learn a lot from these artist guys, but the artist guys' drawings are only good because the animators drew their art that way, then really the animators could really learn a lot from themselves. But if they're learning a lot from themselves, then don't they already know how to animate? Oh, my brain hurts. After the dad pretends to be an Entei and Molly jumps on his back, he immediately gets up off the floor and starts giving her a piggyback. Now that's wholesome and all, but there is just one problem. He's not on all fours anymore. I thought you were meant to be Entei, not Incineroar. Oh, look. He knows Professor Oak and Delia Ketchum. And by extension, Ash Ketchum, the series protagonist. What an incredible coincidence. Deep in what I assume is the ruins of Alph, but also appears to be in the middle of a vast desert, so maybe not, Molly's dad's assistant shows him the markings he's found and tells him, "I've never seen markings like these before," even though the markings are literally shaped like the Unown. So let me get this straight. You're studying the Unown and you don't even recognize markings shaped like the Unown. Is this his first day on the job or something? Now look, I'm not going to criticize the CGI in this movie too much. After all, this movie was made in like the year 2000. Like, sure, it's no Toy Story, but also it's hardly like the Pokemon movies are known for their breathtaking CGI, are they? Except, of course, for Pokemon the first movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. That movie is gorgeous. After picking up a bunch of tiles with the Unown markings on them, our professor friend is transported to what appears to be another dimension. One which is filled with Unown, who I guess transported him there against his will? Because apparently the Unown don't know the word consent, which is kind of ironic because I bet they could probably spell it. Now let's take a moment to spell out the word thank you and say thank you to our wonderful Ace Trainer Ultra XL members, who are Brometapod, Purple Dragonair, Ghost Lupin, Andros LaFay, Sin City Yeti, Gear Overlord, TJ the Nerd, JWatt8554, Night Angel, Blue Thunder 2021, Lucas Gates, and Kingly Gamer YT. Thank you so much for your massive support on this channel. People like you keep this channel alive. Now back to the movie. I know this thing is supposed to be the professor's laptop, but for a split second I could have sworn it was a Nintendo DS, which obviously it can't be because the DS didn't come out till 2004, but who cares? Nintendo DS foreshadowing, confirmed. After hearing about her father's disappearance, Molly goes onto his laptop to try and figure out what happened. And this bit really narks me. She's apparently a smart enough kid to be able to use a laptop with ease, which in the early 2000s wasn't nearly as common as you'd think, but she's not smart enough to climb up onto the table to open the ancient box carefully, and so just lets it fall to the floor like a numpty. Oh no, don't worry love, I'm sure it'll be fine. When have ancient artifacts ever been delicate? Here's a direct quote from Molly upon seeing the Unown tiles.
They look just like letters. I can spell our names with the unknown.
Oh, gee, Molly, that sounds like a fun time, spelling out yours and your parents' names with the funny tiles. Only one problem. Since when were your names Papa, Mama, and me? Like, Papa and Mama I can kind of let slide because you'd have probably called them that. But me? Your name's Molly. You've missed out the O. Oh, would you look at that? Gen 2 Ultra Wormholes. So the unknown appear, and the group circling around Molly spell out the words "you know rides," which is pretty rich since they're about to give Molly an Entei to ride around on. The unknown decide to crystallize Molly's house for no reason. No, but seriously, why though? She was sad that her parents were gone, and I'm pretty sure she was longing for them to come back. At what point did this little girl ask for her house to be coated in this crystal stuff? Like, they even seal up the room she's in. I'm just saying, I don't recall Molly ever wanting this. Molly wishes for her dad to come back, and so the unknown spawn an Entei. Again, not really what she asked for, is it? Mate, can these unknown get anything right? Like, for Pokemon that can spell things out using literally themselves, they're really bad at following instructions. When Molly decides the Entei must be her papa, it doesn't correct her. Instead, it just says,
Papa, if that is what you wish.
Entei, what you're doing there, mate, is called deception. And deceiving a child, no less. I don't know, that's a bit dodgy, mate. Apparently Entei belongs on some kind of register. Pass it on. Hang on a minute, that's not how you spell unknown. Well, technically it is, but not in this context. Here's a direct quote from this trainer that Ash and friends bump into.
Are any of you guys Pokemon trainers?
Come on, love. As if the Pikachu isn't a massive bloody giveaway. Use your noodle. After Totodile defeats a Granbull with a single water gun, and yes, I am just gonna gloss over that or we'll be here forever, Ash switches Totodile for Chikorita without even waiting to see what his opponent's next Pokemon will be. Ash, mate, that's just poor decision making. How are you gonna know Chikorita has the advantage before its opponent's been revealed? Like, imagine if the next mod out would have been Entei. Case in point, this trainer's Girafarig absolutely batters Chikorita. See? Should have stuck with Totodile. After Pikachu and Quagsire butt heads, the only thing stopping Pikachu from fainting is Ash propping him up. And somehow, Ash claims that as a victory? Mate, they were both clearly knocked out. If anything, this battle should continue until only Girafarig, Butterfree, Noctowl, or Cyndaquil is left standing. When the gang reach the town of Greenfield, they find it almost completely covered in crystal. Apart from a single windmill, which really bugs me. But don't worry about that now, we'll worry about it later. And I'm still yet to understand how the unknown think this benefits Molly. Like, sure, it looks pretty cool, but how are you supposed to get takeout delivered when the town's in this state? Back in Pallet Town, ugh, Tracy, crap movie, 0 out of 10. Anyway, back in Pallet Town, we get to see Spencer Hale, that's Molly's dad's, research. And it's absolute hot garbage. And I know what you're thinking, surely it's not that bad. Let's just take a look, shall we? What is Unown? Spelt wrong, for starters. As Unown, spelt wrong, had a very timid and careful, spelt wrong, character, Unown, spelt wrong, do not want to go out to the external world. Unown, spelt wrong, is still a Pokemon, parentheses, creature, to have power perceiving sense of other creature, parentheses, including human being. However, it's not power like telepathy, spelt wrong, but just to feel with keen sense. Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. Sharpening keen sense of wild animal. Unown, spelt wrong, speaks each other over the electric wave. Mate, what an absolute pissing mess this report is. And this is supposed to be from one of Professor Oak's greatest students? I'd hate to see the work from his worst students.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find these spelling and grammar errors are probably just translation errors from Japanese to English.
Yeah, and they still made it into the movie. Like, this could have easily been avoided if someone in the localization team would have just said, "Oi lads, let's take a quick look over that report you translated." Direct quote from Oak to Delia.
You've known Spencer since you were a schoolgirl, haven't you?
Oak, mate, you already know the answer to that question. You've literally been in photos with both Delia and Spencer together. Some of the unknown that appear in this report don't even exist. Like, what's that one supposed to be? Unknown colon? Sounds more like something you'd find in a glory hole, not a Pokedex. After Oak and Delia arrive in Greenfield to check things out, we cut to Molly and Entei, who I guess are watching them arrive on the news? Wait. Wait, let me just get this straight. So you wish for your missing dad to come back, and the Unown turn up and crystallize your entire town and give you an Entei that you think is your dad but hasn't really confirmed either way? And the next thing you do is sit and watch the news on a crappy laptop? Like, couldn't the Unown have conjured her up a big screen TV at least? Honestly, either Molly's crap at taking advantage of wishes or the Unown are crap at granting them. I'll let you decide which in the comments. Now, when Molly tells Entei she'd like a mama, you wouldn't be faulted for thinking, since the Unown are granting all her wishes, well, kind of, I mean, she never really asked for an Entei, but anyway, since they're kind of conjuring up everything she wishes, then surely they'll conjure up a mother for her, right? Wrong. Entei sprints off to where Ash and friends are to hypnotize Delia Ketchum into thinking she's Molly's mum. Wait. What? Look, I don't know about you guys, but at this point, Unown's power, whatever it's supposed to be, isn't making a lick of sense to me. Pikachu clings onto Entei as it runs off with Delia and tries using Thunderbolt on it, and it has no effect on Entei at all for some reason. That's weird. I don't recall Entei being immune to electric attacks. Probably a good thing for Delia though, she'd have been toast. Anyone else think the crystallized mansion looks more like it should be associated with Suicune and not with Entei? Like, it legit looks like the stuff on Suicune's back and has kind of ribbon things around it. So I wonder why they chose Entei for this movie and not Suicune. I guess Suicune was busy. The Unown finally decide to crystallize the windmill on the edge of town. About bloody time as well. It was really bugging me that was the one building that was left out. Entei tells Molly her world is getting bigger. I mean, not really, mate. You've covered all the good shops in Crystal. Oak explains to Ash that the Pokemon that took his mother was Entei. Hang on a minute. That's not Entei. That's bloody Starmie. Or at least some kind of variation of Starmie. Mega Starmie confirmed. We suddenly cut to the Charasific Valley where Ash's Charizard overhears a news story reporting on the incident. Mate, this is tragic. Seriously, tell me you don't believe your movie has enough Pokemon star power without telling me you don't believe your movie has enough Pokemon star power.
Surely people aren't going to pay to see a movie with just Pikachu, Entei, and the Unown. We need Charizard back.
Stuff like this is exactly why y'all shouldn't get mad when Charizard gets like new forms and stuff. Charizard is a proven draw. Confirmed. As Oak and Spencer's assistant figure out the Unown must be behind everything, they suddenly get an email from Molly telling them to leave her alone. Seems like a bit of a weird tactic by the Unown though. Like, so far, everything Molly's wanted, they've kind of given to her. But when it comes to stopping Professor Oak and co from stopping them, they're just like, just send an email. I'm just saying, why would they not use their power to just crystallize Oak and everybody? The Unown are basically setting themselves up for failure here. Here's a direct quote from Molly while she rides around on Entei.
This is just like before, Papa.
It's not though, is it? Pretty sure before, your dad wasn't actually an Entei. Ash decides it's up to him and Pikachu to save Delia on their own, and proceeds to start running down the hill yelling,
Ah!
Great job there, mate. Way to hit him with the element of surprise. Like, you've got to be more discreet than that, you know, keep them guessing and then BAM! G Fuel sponsor segment. No, but you're gonna love this one though, because until the end of October 2022, G Fuel is 30% off if you use our code ACE, 20% off for cans. So you can save yourself tons of money on the wonderful energy formula with barely any calories and zero sugar and a whole heap of wonderful flavors like Rick and Morty's unstable portal fluid that I'm drinking right now. It's a beautiful strawberry limeade and it's absolutely, I love this one. Oh, that is absolutely tickety-boo. Go get yourself some G Fuel from gfuel.com, use code ACE when you do, and save 30% off your order until the end of October 2022. And it helps out the channel, so thank you very much for everybody that uses code ACE. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because it contains caffeine and children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. Now back to the movie. Lisa, the Pokemon trainer from before, lends Ash her Pokegear so that he can contact the Pokemon Center. Lisa, mate, are you an idiot? You're lending your Pokegear to Ash Ketchum. That's like lending your mobile phone to, well, Ash Ketchum. Honestly, you'll be lucky if you see that again. I don't know if you've heard this about Ash, but he's a bit of a numpty. Meanwhile, Team Rocket argue about whether or not Ash and friends are walking through this stream or wading. And if you sat there thinking, Liam, they're basically the same thing, that's because they are. The joke here is that Meowth thinks Jesse and James are saying waiting when they're actually saying wading. Yeah. That's literally the entire joke. Now, as someone who's a massive fan of dad jokes, even I found this one to be a real stinker. Entei attacks Team Rocket out of nowhere with... Wait, what the hell even is this move? Like, I want to say Fire Blast, except it's not fire-colored and it's not Fire Blast shaped. What can Entei even learn in Gen 2 that would look like this? Maybe hidden power? I guess because it is linked to the Unown in this. I've got no idea. Answers on a postcard. After being blasted by Entei, Team Rocket end up crash landing inside the crystallized town. Entei, mate, you had one job. Keep everybody else out. And what did you do? You helped Team Rocket get in. Entei is a numpty. Pass it on. Now here's a direct quote from Entei after Molly asks him if he made Team Rocket go away.
Yes, they won't bother us again.
Oh, you lying bitch, Entei. Oh, what's wrong, mate? Not brave enough to tell the little girl you buggered up? Apparently, simply seeing Ash in a news report is enough to snap Delia out of her trance. Mate, what a crap spell that was. If she'd have just turned around after Entei hypnotized her, she'd have looked at Ash and the spell had broken. Professor Oak calls Ash and tells him they found some information in Professor Hale's research that could explain what's going on. Apparently, the Unown can read the thoughts of other life forms, and they can apparently create new realities, altering the world with thoughts and dreams. Oak reckons the Unown could be tapping into Molly's imagination. Mate, I hate to break it to you, but all of that is complete bollocks. There is nothing in the Pokédex that says Unown can do any of this. Like, I know the anime writers just love to make stuff up, but the Unown having this kind of power is just absurd. They're supposed to be pathetic. Pikachu swims down Staryu and Totodile's water guns. So are we just supposed to pretend that water gun just isn't an attack? Pikachu should be getting battered by this right now. Have the writers of this movie even seen Pokemon before? As Ash and friends walk up this crystallized staircase, it suddenly changes, as does the room and the walls around them, into this more alien-looking setup. Misty deduces that the Unown must be creating a new reality. But again, I have to ask, why though? Like, as we've seen, the room Molly's in is still in the same state it was before, so it's only this area that's changing. And if this is supposed to be some kind of security measure by the Unown to stop Ash and friends, there's one glaring problem. They've left Ash and friends with an intact staircase, so their progress isn't impeded at all. Direct quote from Meowth upon seeing the Unown.
They kind of look like alphabet soup without the soup.
James says he hasn't seen this many strange letters since the last time he placed a personal ad. Which is a great joke, fair enough, but it does have me wondering. Why would James be placing personal ads? Like, I get that he's not in a relationship with anyone and he might want to meet someone, but he doesn't have a fixed address and he doesn't have a cell phone. So how would someone even get in contact with him to reply? Molly wants to have a Pokemon battle with Ash and friends, but isn't sure she's old enough. So naturally, Entei just makes her an adult. Oh no, it's like those weirdos who draw anime kids as adults to justify drawing them in sexual situations. Apparently Entei is a deviant artist. Confirmed. Brock decides he'll be the one to battle Molly so that Ash and Misty can run off and find Ash's mum. And for some reason Molly and Entei just let them go? That seems really out of character for them. They want to keep Delia as mama, but they just let Ash and Misty go off to get her? Actual numpties. Brock's Zubat lands Supersonic on Molly's Flaffy. Oh sure, but whenever I use Supersonic, Brock tells Zubat to use Wing Attack on an electric type Pokemon. 11 out of 10 battle in there. It's like you're not even trying to win.
Well, actually, Liam, maybe Brock doesn't want to win too quickly, or else Entei and Molly might notice Ash and Misty are gone.
Okay, fair, but surely that also means he doesn't want to lose too quickly either. Direct quote from Brock to Zubat.
You did your best.
Did it? Did it really? One Supersonic and a missed Wing Attack is Zubat's best? Mate, no wonder this thing hasn't evolved in 3 seasons. It's absolute garbage. Here's a direct quote from Brock after Molly sends out Teddy Ursa.
Teddy Ursa, huh? Figure's a cute Pokemon trainer to have a cute Pokemon.
Easy there, Brock, mate. Molly may look like a grown woman, but remember that is still a child in there. You definitely don't want to end up like one of those guys who are like,
I know she looks like a 3-year-old, but she's actually a 40,000-year-old demon, so it's okay.
Molly tells Teddy Ursa to use Dynamic Punch, which is usually a TM move. But I guess she is technically genning these Pokemon as she goes along, after all. What's more shocking is it actually lands a hit on Brock's Vulpix. Man, she's even hacked the accuracy too. Here's a direct quote from Brock.
If I even want to have a chance at beating you, I better start to really rock and roll.
He then sends out his Onix and immediately says,
And my Onix is just how I like to rock and roll.
oh, why did you have to say it twice? We knew what you meant. It would have been fine if you just said it once, but you had to go and make things cringe, didn't you? Molly's Phanpy's rollout absolutely batters Brock's Onyx. On the first turn, no less. That's a not very effective move, too. What in the level 100 Hackmons has this girl done to this Phanpy's stats? Misty tells Molly she's one of the best gym leaders. But Misty, you suck at battling. You can't even beat Ash. Like, come on, lying to a child to impress them? That's not very protagonisty. Hey look, smoke underwater. Bow, 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 bow. Mate, look at the faces of the lads at the back. We all know exactly what they can see. Meowth asks Jessie if she thinks they're gonna get a bigger part in the next movie. Wow, what a crazy fourth wall break, my guy. Honestly, I wouldn't worry about that right now, Meowth. With the quality of this one, you're lucky there even was a next movie. Direct quote from Molly.
Okay, man, time tackle!
Wait, it's Mantine? I always thought it was Mantine, like marine. After Molly realizes Delia isn't her real mother and freaks out, Ash sends out Totodile to fight Entei. Ash Ketchum choosing a correct type matchup? Is he feeling alright? Alright, if this book's supposed to depict legendary Pokémon, then what's this one supposed to be? Looks more like Beautifly than anything else. Well, it wouldn't be a Pokémon movie without Ash almost dying, I guess. Although, I will say one thing. Charizard catching Ash just in time when Ash had already fallen that far wouldn't have saved Ash at all. It would have still killed him and probably really injured Charizard too. After Misty, Brock and Team Rocket save Ash from almost falling again, we get this direct quote from Meowth.
If anything ever happened to you, we'd be out of show business.
Now, while I get that this is just another fourth wall break, I don't really think Meowth's right in thinking they'd be out of show business. Team Rocket could absolutely have their own anime. I'm pretty sure there are millions of us that would happily watch an anime centered around Jessie, James and Meowth. I mean, if Dick Dastardly and Muttley can have their own spin-off cartoon that everybody loved, then why not Team Rocket? Okay, there's something that's been bugging me for this whole Entei Charizard fight sequence, which in my opinion goes on way too long for what it is, which is just flamethrower, flamethrower, chase, chase, flamethrower, flamethrower. But anyway, what bugs me more is that Entei keeps producing these spikes out of the building for it to jump to and from. But Entei can do anything, right? Because it's just an illusion. That's been stressed to us all the way through the movie. Like, as long as Molly wishes for this Entei to be her papa, then it can do anything to make that happen. So why doesn't it just give itself wings to make chasing Charizard that much easier? Or just make itself infinitely faster than Charizard? I'm just saying, once again, these Unown really aren't that creative, are they? Just as Charizard is about to be defeated, Molly tells Entei to stop. And of course, because it's controlled by the Unown and the Unown are doing what she wishes, it stops. And yeah, that's really how the battle ends. Like, how anticlimactic is that? So basically, Ash and friends could have stopped this ages ago by just being nice to Molly. Seriously, this went from deathly peril to just, oh, everything's fine now, in literally seconds. Big lame. After Molly wishes for everything to be real again, the crystallization starts to go away. But also new crystals start bursting out of the walls and floor for no reason. Make your mind up, Unown. Like, are you changing things back to normal or not? Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but Entei is part of Unown's illusion, right? Just like all the crystallization is. So the Entei destroying the crystals to create a path for everyone is just the Unown's illusion destroying the Unown's illusion to create a path for everyone. So why don't the Unown just stop making the crystals then, instead of making the crystals and then making Entei destroy them again? This movie has literally lost its own plot. Oak's explanation is that the Unown have created so much psychic energy that they just can't control it anymore, which just sounds like they couldn't figure out a decent ending and just went with the token, oh no, everything's out of control bollocks. Anything to extend the runtime, eh, Pokemon? They never change. Ash's first thought upon seeing the Unown and realizing they're the problem is to run at them, because of course it is. Now, whilst this is very Ash Ketchum, why not throw a Pokeball or two first, mate? You could have had a new Pokemon there. After Charizard fails to break through the barrier protecting the Unown, Ash gets Pikachu to try Thunderbolt. Mate, why would you try Thunderbolt first and not Thunder? We all know Ash's Charizard is OP, so if its Flamethrower couldn't break that barrier, why not try Pikachu's strongest attack? Come on, Ash, mate, use your noodle. Just as all hope seems lost, Entei turns back up, and may I just say, mate, where the hell have you been? Entei then defeats the Unown and puts a stop to everything simply because Molly believed it could. The thing is, hasn't Molly been absolutely besotted with this Entei she thought was her dad for the whole movie? Like, didn't she already believe it could do anything? So why did it take so long for Entei to be able to sort things out? Entei then tells Molly he has to go, even though I'm pretty sure that's up to Molly. Like, surely with the way this spell works, if she doesn't believe it has to go, it doesn't have to go, right? Isn't that how it all works?
Well, actually, Liam, I'm pretty sure Entei has to go because Unown's spell is broken, so it's no longer linked to Molly's dreams.
Well, if that was the case though, wouldn't the spell have stopped working the moment the Unown were defeated? You know, instead of allowing time for this lengthy goodbye. Unless the Unown just felt like being really generous all of a sudden. As the Unown all start dashing back off to their own dimension, I do have to ask, why does nobody throw a goddamn Pokeball? Do these people know how rare the Unown are in the anime world? How hard would it have been to just lob one ball and get one letter? After everything miraculously turns back to normal, Molly looks up to the sky to see what's supposed to be like an Entei-shaped cloud. But let's face it, it looks way more like this thing. As the credits begin to roll, we see Molly's dad, Spencer Hale, spat out of the Unown dimension and back into the real world. So wait, the Unown could have returned him at any time? Like, they wanted to grant Molly's wishes, so they spawned her an Entei that just played along as if it was her dad, when they could have just given her dad back from the off. Not to mention, the Unown completely get away with all this, mind you. Like, their spell was broken, but it's not like they were made to faint or anything. Like, they lose control of their power and then get help to regain control and then just bugger off home to their own world. They literally abducted a man, and as far as we know, his wife as well, and at no point are they held accountable for any of this. Hashtag justice for the Hale family. Oh look, Molly's mum's back now too. Wait, so where has she been all this time? Like I said before, we kind of have to assume that she was taken away by the Unown. Like, I know there's the whole thing where the Japanese dub insinuates that she's in a mental asylum, but let's go with this theory instead. Like, her being abducted by the Unown is a great way of explaining why Spencer is so interested in researching them to find a way to get her back, but if that's the case, why is she back now? Why wasn't she returned at the same time that Spencer was returned? I mean, if that even is Molly's mum, it's totally plausible that this could just be Spencer moving on and introducing Molly to her new stepmom, I suppose. And now that the movie's properly ended, I have just one question left that I can't quite figure out. What was the point of this movie? Like, none of it makes sense to me. The Unown came to our dimension and abducted a woman, and then later her husband, and then later appeared for their daughter and wanted to grant her innermost wishes for some reason. Which, even though she wanted her parents back, they figured crystallizing her entire town was just as good. And giving her an Entei, which when asked if it was her dad was like, yeah sure, why not, even though it wasn't really her dad. And they make a random Pokemon trainer's mum that Molly met once pretend to be Molly's new mum. Like, what is any of this supposed to mean? And why did the Unown even care about Molly and her family to begin with? Like, what was their motivation for this? Like, out of all of the people in the Pokemon world, the Unown decided to take Spencer Hale and his wife and grant their daughter's wishes. Like, why this family in particular? This movie just raises way more questions than it answers. And that's why, personally, I think it's absolute garbage. So those are my WTF moments for Pokemon 3 the movie, Spell of the Unown, Entei. Let me know your favorites and any that I might have missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget as well to check out my live streams on this very YouTube channel 5 times a week and use code ACE for 30% off G Fuel until the end of October. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.